Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope you are enjoying the best of health. I welcome you in my class, that is English for grade 2. We are learning unit 13. Its title is Be Clean, Stay Healthy. My dear fellow teachers, this lesson plan, PowerPoint presentation and worksheet links are given. You may click it, download it, follow it as it is, or modify it for your convenience. I am going to deliver my lecture according to this lesson plan. Yes, my dear students, today under the title of pronunciation skills, we are going to learn about weak forms. Before this, I have taught you about article and its different pronunciation. We have read this letter as A, but sometimes we say it as A. So there, it means there can be different pronunciation for different words. How do we find it? How do we say it? This is what we are going to learn today, and we'll cover the SLO to pronounce the weak forms of A, the in simple phrases, and of B in contractions. This is our today's SLO. Let's start with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah mentions in Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 2. This is the book about which there is no doubt, a guidance for those cautious of Allah. Yes, my dear students, what this beautiful verse is telling us, this verse is telling us about the book, and that is Quran. That Quran is speech of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Each and every word of Quran is truth, and it is a guidance for believers, right? So beta, alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed us with Quran. And now look at this article, the. So sometimes we say the and sometimes we say the, right? Have you heard the? This is the end of the news. This is how we pronounce this word in two different ways. How do we find out how to say it? This is what we are going to learn today. And before that, you tell me what are weak forms and what is the contraction. So whatever you know about it, pause the video, tell the answer to your teacher, and then come back. Yes, my dear students, do you know what weak form is? Okay, I'm going to tell you. Weak forms are unstressed. And what is unstressed? In last unit, we have studied about stressed words and stressed syllables, remember? So beta, unstressed means, when stress means when we say something louder and longer, but unstressed is reverse. So when we say something, when we pronounce it and we say the word speedily, though it's clearly, but speedily, quickly we say it, it becomes the weak form of that word, right? And your book tells about it. If a word has a weak form, it does not mean that we'll always use a weak form. Okay, this is important. Sometimes we say the same word in a strong way. We use weak forms when a syllable is not important within a sentence or unstressed. Weak form never ends a sentence. So this is the information about weak form. So what we have discussed so far, weak form is for a word when we say a word speedily, right? So when we say a word speedily, we pronounce it in a different way, but still it's clearly, okay? And what is contraction? Contractions are shortened words. We add apostrophe to combine the words into to combine two words to make one. So what happens basically? Better look at this. I am. This is how we write I am, and this is how we say I am. But we contract it. We make it a short form, and we write it in this way. Because this is written in different way, it's contracted form, and we pronounce it as I'm. I am, I'm. So this is the short form, and this is called weak form. Okay. He is, his. You are, your. So these are the weak forms, because here we are saying the words quickly, speedily, right? So let's see what does your book say about it. All of you open your book. Let's find out what's written. In connected speech, we have strong and weak forms of words. Weak forms are unstressed, strong forms are stressed. A weak form is when we pronounce a word speedily and clearly, right? For example, now we are going to discuss weak form of A. So when we say in strong form, we say A. And how do we read it? I bought a car, right? But when we use weak form, because we are practicing weak form, how we'll say it? I bought a car. I bought a car. Now this A becomes a. We say I bought a car. I bought a car. We don't stress on it. We say unstressed means quickly. We say I bought a car. She needs a cup of tea. She needs a cup of tea. She needs a cup of tea, right? This is the weak form of A, all right? I borrowed a pencil. I borrowed a pencil. I borrowed a pencil, right? Now this is how we pronounce weak form of A by saying I borrowed a pencil, right? Okay. It's a little bit hot. It's a little bit hot. Now you see there are two weak forms. It's also weak form. We just discussed. It's a little bit hot, right? I'm not saying it is a little bit hot. This is strong way. So when we say it in weak way, weak form, we say it's a little bit hot. It's a little bit hot. Do you understand? So this is the weak form of A when we say in speedily, but still it's there. Okay. The next is the. It's the weak form of the. And when the comes before the consonant. So how do we find out? We are going to say it the or the. The is strong form, the is weak form. So when after this word you find next word starting with a consonant sound. And what are consonants? When we take A, E, I, O, U out of alphabets of English letters, rest 21 letters are consonants, right? So it's not A, not E, not I, not O, not U. That's why it's a consonant. And when this word is coming before a consonant, we will say it the. Shut the door. Shut the door. Okay. And it is the weak form of the. Okay. Fetch the chair. Fetch the chair. Fetch the chair. Now, do you understand? The is the weak form of the. All right. Okay. And when we'll say, when the next word is starting with a consonant sound. Okay. So, B. Now, we are going to talk about the weak forms of B. That means is, am and are. These are the form of B. And when we say them speedily, they becomes the weak form of B, means is, are, am. And how do we say it? When it's a strong form, we say she is pretty. But we can say it, she's pretty. She's pretty. This is weak form. And beta, usually when we are talking, and because we talk in a fluency, with fluency, that's why we use weak form like this. But there is no difference in both of these sentences. Both sentences are same. Only the difference is in pronunciation and in writing. She is pretty. You are late. You are late. You are late. You are late. He is running fast. He is running fast. He is running fast. I am worried. I'm worried. I'm worried. They are waiting downstairs. They're waiting downstairs. They're waiting downstairs. They're. Okay. This is how we say it. So this is how we pronounce and write weak forms of different words. Do you understand? So let's practice it. We are going to practice it further through an activity. What we are going to do? Your teacher will make cards having sentences written on them with weak forms of A. And what is the weak form of A? With weak form of the. And what is the weak form of the? And is, am, are. Teacher will show cards to students and ask students to read it aloud. And be careful, students, you have to pronounce weak forms correctly. So pause the video, enjoy the activity and then come back. Yes, my dear students, are you done with it? Good job. Now it's time for your homework. You are going to practice weak and strong forms of A, the and B, means is, am, are. And here I am giving you a worksheet, my dear fellow teachers. This worksheet, lesson plan, PowerPoint presentation links are given. You may click it, download it and kindly provide a printed worksheet to students for practice. And my dear students, what you are going to do? You are going to look at these words, use its weak form and then say it. This is how you are going to practice this worksheet. So what we have learned today? We learned how to pronounce the weak forms of A, the and B, that is, am, are. So we achieved our SLO to pronounce the weak forms of A, D in simple phrases and B in contractions. Are we done with it? Yes. So that's it for today. Tomorrow I'll come again with a very interesting lesson. Till that time, keep learning and take very good care of yourself. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.